All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. By the way, reminder tomorrow, former presidential candidate, Democrat Seth Moulton, also a war veteran, got a lot of medals. And he's got some opinions when it comes to this withdrawal of troops in Syria. So Seth Moulton will be joining us tomorrow in hour number 2. We'll get to UNLV football in a second. I just wanted to bring up the fact that after their big win, Coach Tony Sanchez will be joining us. I didn't really know what to talk about with him the last several weeks. It wasn't a lot of good stuff to talk about, but we finally have something really good to talk about. So Coach Sanchez will be joining us on the show tomorrow as well. My producer, our producer, Stein, he gives me these frosted mini wheats, right? And they are the worst thing to eat when you're on the radio. They get stuck in my throat. It's horrible. So anyway, thank you for those mini wheats. They're wonderful. All I do is cough on the air constantly. But we've been talking a lot about this shooting that took place, and everyone's talking about it because it's a horrible, tragic story, and we hope that this police officer is held accountable. This story in Dallas, and no, I'm not talking about the Amber Geiger trial. I'm actually talking about this police officer over the weekend, a welfare call, a neighbor calling up saying that this woman's door was left wide open. Police officer shows up. He sees this woman through a window, shoots her dead. It's a horrible, tragic story, and there needs to be accountability. But I also did mention that there are idiots on the other side. And what I mean by that is when somebody commits a heinous act or a crime and then they're shot, people cry wolf. It happened in Ferguson with Michael Brown. We heard the hands up, don't shoot false narrative. And yes, it was a false narrative. That kid was a thug. He just committed a strong-arm robbery, and then he attacked a police officer, going after the police officer's gun. He deserved what was coming to him. While I feel bad for his family and friends, I don't feel bad for Michael Brown. And he's now 6 feet under the ground because of his stupidity. So I want to talk about this story. It happened at a Dollar General store in Dayton. We remember Dayton where that mass shooting happened recently. So this happened Wednesday night. It happened at about 6 o'clock at this store, Dollar General store, where this guy, his name is Roosevelt Rapley. What a name that is, huh? Roosevelt Rapley of Dayton. He died that evening. He walks into this Dollar General store, brandishes a gun, tries to rob the cashier, the clerk. So what does the clerk do? Well, the clerk had a gun himself. And by the way, this is a situation where I'm glad the clerk had a gun. I'm not one of those people that thinks everybody should have a gun, but I'm glad the clerk had a gun, especially if you're in a bad area, your place is getting robbed all the time. So what happens here? What do you think happens? Well, guess what? The good guy won. The robber walks into the store, brandishes the gun, tries to rob the store. The clerk shoots him dead. Hallelujah. Do I feel bad for this guy who robbed this store? Absolutely not. Was the clerk absolutely 100% justified? Of course he was. But now this guy who robbed the store, who is now dead because of his stupidity, and now his family has come out wanting justice for the clerk. These siblings sound like they have an IQ of about 20. Here are the siblings of the man who was shot and killed while trying to rob the Dollar General.
Right and wrong is wrong. That was wrong for that clerk to shoot my brother in the chest. Yes, he's robbing y'all. Oh, well. Call the police. That's what y'all supposed to do. Y'all not supposed to take matters in your own hands. If that's the case, I'll take matters in my own hands.
Okay, first of all, how dumb do you have to be to talk like that? First of all, if somebody is pointing a gun at you, oh, hold on a second, sir, let me just call the police. Is that how it works? No, correct me if I'm wrong. If somebody is holding a gun and brandishing a gun and pointing it at you, excuse me, sir, I'll take care of you. I'll give you all the money in the register. Let me call the police first. No, that's not how it works, you dumb nitwit. And then we wonder why there are idiots all over the country committing these horrible crimes. If you rob a store at gunpoint and somebody shoots you, I say good. And let me tell you something. If it was a member of my family, and it wouldn't, but let's just say hypothetically it was, a member of my family goes into a store at gunpoint and is shot, I would feel horrible. I would feel pain inside. But one thing I would not do is attack the clerk for shooting a member of my family when my family member had it coming to them. It's ridiculous.
Let's say it was my daughter or my son. I would blame myself for raising my daughter or son very, very poorly. Period. Did you hear what she said? She said, so what if he's robbing the store? What?
So what? So what if you commit a felony?
Do stores exist just so they can be robbed?
Yeah, so what?
That's like someone coming into my house trying to take a $3,000 watch or a very nice television or some type of old antique, walking or attempting to walk out, me shooting them in the butt, the bullet going through and hitting some type of artery, them dying, and then one of their family members saying, "Oh, why did you get?" Because I was robbed.
Yeah.
Because they thought it was okay to show up to my place with a gun, steal my stuff that belongs to me, not to them, and get away with it scot-free, and that's totally fine. The entitlement in that statement to me is just unbelievable, not to mention the stupidity, clearly.
Can we play this audio again? Because it's just, to me, it's priceless of how dumb people are in society. This family member speaking out because I don't know if it was her brother. I believe she's talking about her brother. Going into a Dollar General store with a gun, trying to rob a shop, and then she's shocked and appalled that the clerk decided to shoot him. I just want to play this again because it's unbelievable.
Right and wrong is wrong. That was wrong for that clerk to shoot my brother in the chest. Yes, he's robbing y'all. Oh, well. Call the police. That's what y'all supposed to do. Y'all not supposed to take matters in your own hands. If that's the case, I'll take matters in my own hands.
So what? So my brother walked into a dollar store and robbed him at gunpoint. Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
I mean, are you kidding me? Or I don't even, I can't even breathe. It's just so ridiculous. And then we wonder how, why there are so many dumb people in society and why so many dumb people do so many dumb things. So this woman must be the dumbest of them all.
Well, let's say that the guy who's robbed, let's say the guy doesn't have a gun and he says, I don't want to give you the money. And then you don't know if this guy's on drugs or if he's drunk or what the situation is, and he shoots him dead. And then they've got a dead cashier. This guy gets away with all the money. And then what do you expect him to do?
I don't know.
The fact that he had a gun and he shot him square is,
hallelujah. This guy's a hero.
That is an ideal. That is exactly what you want to happen.
Let me tell you
what
something.
should happen in this situation.
God forbid if I'm ever in a store and somebody's trying to rob the place, I want that clerk to act the way he acted. First of all, he's a good shot. He didn't hurt anybody else.
Right.
He's a good shot. He knows how to use a gun, and I don't feel bad for that bastard. He belongs 6 feet underneath the ground. If you're dumb enough to rob a place with a gun,
and he had an AR-15, a bazooka, a MAC-10. What was his weapon? Do you have any idea?
As far as I know, it was not an assault weapon. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, I see where you're going with this, JD. I like where you're going with this one. So you're telling me that it doesn't take an assault weapon to defend yourself.
You do not need a 35-pound weapon to defend yourself.
There you go. And this is that's a very good point. This is the perfect example of it. So I pose this question to all you people out there right now listening. Do you feel sorry for this guy who's dead now because he walked into a Dollar General store and tried to rob the place? Do you feel sorry for him? What do you think about his family? What do you think about his family going after the clerk and saying the clerk was at fault and the clerk should have called the police? Oh, well, what do you make of that? What do you make of this situation? 257-5396 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Again, that number, 702-257-5396. Guy walks into Dollar General with a gun trying to rob the place. He gets shot by the clerk dead, and now the family's crying wolf. What do you make of that? 257-5396. It's unbelievable. Why don't we go to Kevin to start off? Kevin, thank you for calling into the Vegas Take. What do you think about all this?
Well, I think that the tragedy is more or less, to me, it just seems like you guys are, I don't know, you're going in on the family. Yes, the guy is gone. He was shot dead. Good guy won. Now, you shot the store clerk. What about the next time the guy goes in? Maybe they off the clerk because they don't want to get shot. But I'm more concerned about your tone about, the laughter and the comicalness of
because they're
of
stupid.
You
You
had nothing to say about the cop shooting the girl.
What do you mean? Excuse me. You're 100% wrong. I don't know where you're getting that from. What do you mean I had nothing to say? I did 45 minutes on it this morning. Why don't you listen? Are you brain dead? No, you're wrong. No, excuse me. No. You're not gonna. Excuse me. Why don't you be quiet? Why don't you be quiet and listen for a second? For 45 minutes, for 45 minutes, I said this cop deserves to be in jail for the rest of his life. For 45 minutes, I said that people like that deserve this poor woman who lost her life deserves justice. So you just said something that's factually inaccurate. If you want to continue this conversation, I'll gladly do it with you. But why don't you admit you are wrong because you weren't listening in the 9 a.m. hour when I was on this poor woman's side and I attacked this police officer. Why don't you admit you're wrong, and then we'll continue the conversation.
Great, Kevin. Great. I was wrong.
Okay, thank you. Now, thank you for admitting that you're an imbecile.
I let you talk. So let me
Now
talk.
I'm going to address what you... No, wait a second. Wait a second. Now...
Kevin, did you...
What are you talking about? Now
He's trying to turn this into a racial crusade. He's trying to say you're racist, Brian.
Okay, so Kevin, Michael Brown.
I didn't say he was racist.
Okay,
Kevin.
You are absolutely implying,
All right, let's let him.
that he's racist.
Okay, Kevin. Michael Brown attacked a police officer. The evidence was overwhelming that he never put his hands up, don't shoot. That was a false narrative. Now, you asked me why I'm laughing. Okay, so now that we've addressed that you were wrong, now that we've addressed that Michael Brown went after a police officer.
What happened with the Michael Brown? There were so many different issues there.
No, I'm not assuming. It was proven in a court of law. Excuse me, Kevin. Okay, pot him down, because he doesn't want to listen. Kevin, it was proven in a court of law. There were African Americans, witnesses that were at the scene that said Michael Brown never put his hands up. The hands up, don't shoot narrative was false. There was DNA evidence on the police officer's gun. The problem with people like you is you don't want to hear facts. Now I'm going to address the other thing. Now that you've been wrong twice, maybe we can make it a triple whammy with you. The reason why I'm laughing, I think it's horrible. I feel bad for this man's family that he lost his life. But I think it's comical because it shows you how dumb people are, like yourself. It shows you how dumb people are that when a member of their family can walk into a Dollar General store with a gun and brandish a gun and armed robbery with a weapon and get shot, you think it's okay for family members to go after the clerk. That makes you an ignoramus, Kevin. Go ahead and pot him up. Let's see if he's wrong again.
Watch your little laughter jubilee about someone losing their life.
Excuse me, I'm laughing. Excuse me, I'm not jubilee. Why don't you listen? All right, hang up on him. This guy just doesn't want to listen. Yes, I think it's funny and pathetic at the same time when a family member blames a clerk for shooting an armed robbery suspect, Kevin. You are a moron.
Bottom line, this guy assumed the ultimate risk. When you stick a gun in someone's face and try to enrich yourself by using that gun to your advantage, by inciting fear, and someone shoots you, you've assumed the ultimate risk. Yeah. Bottom line. So it's very clear cut. It doesn't matter what race the person is. In this case, he just happened to be African American. And I'm sorry that you feel bad about that, Kevin, but that's the truth.
Well, Kevin's an idiot because he's proven wrong. Number one,
he's trying to paint you out as a racist.
Of course he is. First of all, he didn't listen in the 9 a.m. hour when I was going after this police officer in Dallas. So he admitted he was wrong there. He had to because he was caught. Right. And then number two, he's talking about Michael Brown, where Michael Brown was proven to be a thug who committed a armed robbery and a strong arm robbery and then attacked a police officer. So he's wrong there, number two. And then number three, he's saying that I'm happy that someone lost their life. Let me be very clear, Kevin. If somebody walks into a store with a gun and tries to commit a robbery, yes, I'll be on the record and say it right now. I am happy that man is 6 feet underneath the ground. Yes, I am happy. If you are dumb enough to walk into a store and commit a robbery, whether it's a bank robbery with a weapon, I don't want you in society. You're damn right I'm happy, and I'm laughing at the stupidity of his family members.
If this was me and this was my brother, my sister, my daughter, my son, I would blame myself and my upbringing.
Yeah, well,
I would not blame
the person who did it.
I would not blame the person who pulled the trigger.
Yeah, I agree. 257-5396. Let's go to Tony. Tony, what's going on?
What's up, Tony?
How are you doing?
Good. What's up, Tony? What do you think about this?
Okay, so I was telling the phone guy that I'm half black and half white. Do you know if the clerk, was he a black guy or a white guy?
I don't have that information, Tony.
See, I wonder if that would be curious. You guys were, JD was saying, oh, hey, by the way, hi, guys. I listen to you guys all the time.
Thank you, Tony.
Thanks, Tony.
Show.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
I think, I have a theory that JD might come in late on the days that the president does something really, really stupid, and he's slightly embarrassed about having to come in, and, because the last time you were sick, which, by the way, is your roommate single? I'm just kidding. The guy that did the shooting did probably call the police after he shot the guy.
Of course, that's the appropriate thing to do. I think he's a hero.
That, in a situation like that, exactly. A hero, not a hero like a fireman, but pretty damn close.
Well, you know what? If there are people in that store, that robber Well, that had a weapon. Who's to say that he wouldn't have shot somebody in that store? So that's
and that sets precedent for the future. Don't walk into a store with a gun trying to rob it because you may lose your life.
Exactly.
And then this guy who calls in before you, Tony, saying that, oh, I'm happy that this guy died. Yeah, you're damn right I am.
Yeah.
You're damn right I am.
Went in and robbed a store with a gun. That's
Yeah.
a threat to my life.
That's absolutely.
Right there is justification to shoot you.
Yeah, you're damn right I'm happy. What, do I want this guy in jail for 20 to 30 years so he can get out of jail and do it again? No, I want the guy 6 feet underneath the ground. That's what I want.
Indeed.
Yeah.
You guys were talking about something else earlier, and I had there was something.
Well, Tony, hang on the line. And
go ahead. You guys got commercial,
all right, let's get to some more phone calls. Tony, I appreciate you listening in, my friend. Thank you so much. 257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Jay. Jay, what do you think about all this?
What's up, Jay?
Yeah, I think people need to do their research before they listen to you and know the facts beforehand. And this is more of a general statement,
Okay, well,
if you're being robbed and someone's attacking you, that does not automatically give you the right to shoot them.
so if somebody has a gun and points a gun at you and they're robbing, please tell me the state where you're not allowed to shoot somebody when somebody is robbing you with a weapon. I'll wait, Jay. Please give me the state where you're not allowed to shoot that person in self-defense. I'll wait. Go ahead.
I never said you're not allowed to shoot that person.
Yeah,
I'm giving people general advice, and that advice is just because, say, for example, someone breaks into your home,
we're not talking about somebody. We're not talking about that, Jay. With all due respect, we're talking about this specific case.
That's private property. It's the same thing. We're breaking into.
The guy had a gun. You're not being factually accurate. The guy had a gun. He pointed a gun at the clerk. We're talking about this specific case. Why are you talking
with someone else? You're arguing with someone else. I never said the individual didn't have a gun.
You said people need to do their research before listening. Please tell me where I'm factually inaccurate with this case.
Okay, the generalization that you're making.
Not making a generalization. I'm talking about this case. This specific case. There's no generalization. What are you talking about? There's no generalization.
Okay, well, you got to let me talk.
Well, you've said things that don't make sense. Go ahead.
What if I said that didn't make sense? I haven't said anything.
Why are you talking about a home invasion or a struggle? We're talking about this specific case. Go.
I'm talking about the principle of this, and that is if somebody enters your property with a weapon, whether it be a firearm, a knife, they need to know the law, and that is that there is circumstantial evidence that goes along with it that has to prove that you're using deadly
Jay, did the clerk break the law?
I didn't say the clerk.
So what the hell are you talking about?
With someone else. I'm okay.
The actual law is here. If you feel that your life is at risk, in which case, when someone points a gun in your face and tries to take what you have or what you're representing, let's say the place got robbed and he loses his job because the place was robbed that night.
Yeah. All right.
But if you feel your life's at risk, you have every right to do that.
Well, the guy's not making any sense. He said people need to do research before listening to your show. No, you need to open up your ears and get the wax out of your ears, Jay, before you listen to the show. That's what you need to do.
Yeah. So
we'll take a quick break and be back right after this. You're listening to the Vegas Take.